Hello world. I have an amazing, incredible story to tell you. And the story is about how a sheer vast amount of advertising has led to a YouTube channel with an average of 30 views per video and almost no likes. Now, I was born in Canada. A bit about me, I was born in Canada, and my mother was a very loving and caring mother. Her name was Nancy Stadler, and she passed away of cancer, unfortunately, in 2002. And my name is Frederick Stadler, and this is my story. Now, I developed schizophrenia when I was 20 years old in 2004. And so I got some odd beliefs. I'd gone through high school, graduated, did a year of university, and then I had developed my schizophrenia. And the second year of university, for the second year of university, at the end of the year, I was taking chemistry, and I started a Wikipedia user. Now, Wikipedia was new at the time, and had just come out. And on this Wikipedia user, I was originally just telling my story. I never posted any content to articles on Wikipedia. One of the admins had just let me have a user upon request. And I started believing that there was going to be a 31 million kilogram nuclear warhead that was going to strike Texas at around Gatesville and obliterate the Earth. I don't know if a 31 million kilogram nuclear warhead would obliterate the Earth, but I got some very odd beliefs with my schizophrenia. So when you Googled Frederick Stadler at the time, there was only 3 results that came up. One of them was my MySpace, one of them was my poem, and one of them was my Wikipedia user. So I figured if I told people to Google Frederick Stadler, that there would be a lot of people warned about the nuclear warhead that was being predicted on my user. So this was on Wikipedia. I felt this was rather trusted material because it was on Wikipedia, and I took a Sharpie and I spammed all over TTC posters everywhere in Toronto, all over the subway, maybe wrote it 100 or 80 times or so, until the police had arrested me. That to terrorist warning, Google Frederick Stadler. So people clearly were able to see that there was a nuclear warhead coming for Texas. And this is in 2006 we're talking about. And so the Wikipedia had started in April of 2006. And at around June of 2006, I created a C program to create emails. So I was making up email addresses with the C program, just generating them, that was tagging numbers onto the back of them. And at the time, Gmail was not as strict as it is now. And I was sending out these emails to over 100,000 addresses with 60 Gmail accounts, just spamming them everywhere that I could. YouTube, no, sorry, Google Frederick Stadler was what they were telling, and that Jesus Christ had come back. So this is in 2006. So all these emails were being sent out to everyone, and I was posting very concerning stuff on the Wikipedia user. Now maybe around July or June of 2006, the Wikipedia admins started to notice that I was threatening a 31 million kilogram nuclear warhead in Texas on my Wikipedia user. They started to notice it. So the admins started reverting my posts. So they reverted a post and they said, you shouldn't be doing this. So I put C Frederick Stadler, and then underneath it said C history. And the admins did not take that off the Wikipedia. And the nuke was supposed to hit in October the 3rd of 2006. And the date came and went, and there was no nuclear warhead that had hit Texas, of course. And at that point, when the admins realized there was no nuke, they protected the page and blocked me. And there was an equation for consciousness on this Wikipedia that had to do with eternal return, which I had posted. Actually, it was October 4th that I had posted it, after the nuke did not hit on October 3rd, which I had prepared for. And on October 4th, they blocked me, but they left all the content in the history for people to see who were willing to click on the View History button. And so that remained on Wikipedia, and I'd advertised this to thousands of people. And in 2007, I created 150 Gmail accounts around a year later. This is right around before September of 2007. And I advertised this Wikipedia again a year later, and this content was still up to around 70,000 people. Now I had gotten names from the internet. I had looked through databases of university students in their emails, and all sorts of different emails, government emails. And I advertised to 70,000 with 150 Gmail accounts. I'd spaced it out so each Gmail account had 500 people to send to, 500 addresses. And then all at once, on around September 13th of 2007, I sent out another 70,000 emails, which were advertising my Wikipedia. Now, after the event, a little while after or so, the admins finally took the Wikipedia down for a year. And the next year, some administrator had brought it back up. Someone decided that the content was worth seeing. And so in 2009 to 11, I went on a website known as the Kingdom of Loathing. Now, it's just a joke name. It's not supposed to be about mean stuff. It's just supposed to be about comedy. And I started creating a store. and I advertised to people on this website by making them come to my store and selling items at one per item. You could only have one a day, but it was stuff that people would want, and I put it at the minimum price. And I'd spent maybe $100 buying currency in this website. I estimated it had about 10,000 members, and between 2009 to 11, I was advertising on this website for people to Google Frederick Stadler again, and the Wikipedia was coming up with Google searches. So again, people were being advertised to see this Wikipedia user, Frederick Stadler, which in turn said see history and had all this stuff about the nuke, which some of which was taken down. They did take some of it off the user, but the user talk still had a bunch. And they were saying it was saying to see history, and if you clicked on the history, you could see this post about this equation for consciousness, which was part of the eternal return. So then 2011, I stopped doing this. And in 2013, I started a blog about the eternal return, trying to explain the concept of eternal return to people that weren't understanding it. And the blog was being tagged by Google. It was in the top 10 results for the search Frederick Stadler again. And in 2014, I started painting. I started getting into art a lot. Now, I'd done a bit of painting before. I really started getting into it in 2014. Take a brief pause. I know this is a lot of info to take in. In 2015, I started a blog for the art, Frederick Stadler Art. And I posted pictures of all my paintings. You can click on them to enlarge. And I started advertising this through Facebook. And in 2016, I did an art showing. So I had a display of art, about 20 paintings. I would say they're professional, you know. And I did an art showing, and I gave out around, me and my family gave out around 700 business cards that were saying to Google Frederick Stadler Art to see my art blog. Now, my art blog was linking my Wikipedia at the time. And later on in 2016, right around when I was doing the art showing, I started posting again on the Wikipedia user. Now, this content had all been brought back a while ago, but I did not post on it. So I posted on the Wikipedia user. I started posting concerning content, telling people to spread my word again. I'm not going to say exactly what, but it was very concerning. And the Wikipedia user was linking the art blog and linking a YouTube video about the art blog that a friend had done. And a month after the concerning content had been posted, it was taken down by admins. But it still said see history, and the admin had a picture of a lightning bolt on his user. Mr. Stwockerster, or a Stwockerster. Anyways, later on I continued posting about 2 or 3 weeks later on the Wikipedia, and I had said, I changed what it said, see history, to see history and click on Stwockerster, to encourage people to click on this lightning bolt picture. And the admins left that up, but reverted everything else. And the content was again taken down in September. And on October 3rd of 2016, I once again tried posting stuff on Wikipedia to try to get people to spread my word. And this time the content all stayed up in it. I was posting and posting from 2016 on the user talk Frederick Stadler to on various all sorts of places on Wikipedia that were connected to user talk Frederick Stadler. So I was posting and posting, trying to get people to spread my word. And this was until July of 2020. So for four years it remained up, and it had said see history and click on Swakkerster. It was this admin with a lightning bolt. And in 2020 it was taken down by one of the admins who slashed all the content I'd posted one day and slashed the edit summaries three months later. So July 2020, the content went down. November 2020, the edit summaries went down. So this is in 2020. So let's go back to 2018. On September 11th of 2018, I started my YouTube channel, and I started posting improvisational keyboarding on YouTube. Now, some of it was good, some of it not so much. I didn't have a very expensive keyboard, but I continued posting videos. I eventually got an electric piano. I think some of the content right now is very good, very strong content, and I feel it should have more than 5 or 14 views or whatnot. In 2016 as well, I had between 2016 and maybe 2020 or so, I spent roughly $300 on currency for the Kingdom of Loathing again, and I spent so when you spend that kind of money, you know, you get hundreds and thousands upon items of stuff in the game, and I was selling this all again for minimum price. Please take one a day, and people had to come to my store, and I was once again advertising the Wikipedia to roughly 10,000 people on repeat who were constantly visiting my store. Now you can see in Kingdom of Loathing, you can see who buys an item when one is sold. And the lists for my store, when you looked at the people that were coming to my store to buy these items, were just huge, just pages and pages of people coming to see my store to buy my items. And right in the store there was a link you could click on, and it said what the link was, and it was a link to my Wikipedia. So again, I was advertising the Wikipedia with a secure link to 10,000 people on repeat, and the admins just let me do this. You know, the admins were all for letting me have this link because it was Wikipedia content, which is a trusted website. Also, between 2016 and 2020, I emailed roughly 2,000 people using Gmail, telling people to YouTube Frederick Stadler, and trying to advertise in the best way possible to not scare people with links, but tell them to YouTube Frederick Stadler, which my YouTube was linking my other sites. And I had a way of finding, I'm not going to tell you, but I had a way of knowing which Gmail accounts were real accounts and which ones would bounce, and I was only sending to the ones that would not bounce back to me, and I managed to email around 2,000 people. So yeah, so I think, you know, it's not that hard to get views on YouTube. You know, people will create a video and they'll get 1,000 views or 2,000 views or whatever, you know, if it's decent content. Some people have millions of views. Now, I currently have 124 paintings on my art blog of mine. I have 217 YouTube videos, and the videos have around 30 views per video. And the art blog tells me that only one person a day has seen it, and that person is me. So no one's viewing my art blog, no one's viewing my YouTube. But wait a minute, didn't I just tell you I had advertised this to multi-thousands of people, including the Wikipedia? So, yeah, so in 2020, in November of 2020, everything was removed from the Wikipedia, but it still says, see history and click on Stalkerster. There's still user Jesus Christ X, who is, you can see his talk page. So yeah, so I'm thinking, maybe I do have more than 30 views per YouTube video. Okay, thank you for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. And I know that was a lot to take in, so take a sip of water. Okay, all the best. Bye-bye.